Expo is underway in Nasrec, south of Johannesburg. High school learners, unemployed youth and graduates have been invited, and more than 140 exhibitors are also there to provide information and live service to youth on careers, jobs and work exposure. Now, the Kwazulu-Natal SharksBoard is one of the exhibitors at the event, and its CEO Mthokozisi Radebe joins me now live. Mr. Radebe, thank you very much indeed for your time. It's a pleasure having you in Johannesburg, a cold Johannesburg. You're used to the warm Indian Ocean, but yeah, always a pleasure having you here.
Thank you for inviting us.
Firstly, let me start off by, what is the Kwazulu-Natal SharksBoard all about?
Well, the Kwazulu-Natal SharksBoard traditionally was set up to protect the bathers from shark attack, as you would know, and we've moved from the traditional nets to what now we call a mixed gear, and now we are moving to what we call a shark repellent cable, which doesn't have an environmental impact on the marine life, as it were. But since 2012, we also ventured into what we call Maritime Center of Excellence, which was launched and started specifically to upskill the youth of our country insofar as the maritime industry is concerned. And so we've got a variety of programs and that we train youth on. And what makes us distinguishable from the rest of the other institutions perhaps is the fact that we not only just train people, but we also place them in jobs.
Now, that's where I want to pick up. I mean, promoting skills development in the oceans economy is key, isn't it?
Yes.
With the youth in mind, how is your organization doing that?
Well, as you know, over 60% of our country is youth, and over 60% of our own staff complement at SharksBoard is also youth, and therefore it makes sense when the Premier says Sukuma 10,000. Unfortunately, most of those people that are unemployed at the moment are youth, and therefore you'd find us anywhere where there's youth, which is why we're here, because it fits nicely into our programs in terms of youth employment and also the enterprise development. Not only do we train them, but we place them in jobs, but on top of that, we also have them set up their own businesses, especially in the maritime space. So we're very excited to be here, and we look forward to participating fully.
We have the emergence of Operation Phakisa, one of the national priorities. How has that affected the way you approach youth development and your programs at the SharksBoard?
Well, we have got a multiple of accreditations, some of them internationally, but I won't use this platform to promote them. I would rather focus on the ones that are in the country, your SITAs, your TITAs, and your MERSITAs, and the education SITA. We work very closely with those. And through a variety of programs that we've actually trained over 1,500 in the last 36 months. And we're still aiming for more. So, yeah. And also, in terms of our outreach programs, that's why we might be based in KZN, as you know, in Umhlanga, but our outreach is felt right across the whole country.
Training them is all well and good, but what about placement?
We place them, it's just that I won't mention the people that we place them with because they are private businesses, but most of them are employed, and some of them we as well ourselves. For instance, you know that SharksBoard goes to sea, and therefore you need skippers, and one of the courses and the programs that we provide is skipper licenses and boat building and repairs. And the ones that are best, we take them ourselves. And also, you know that we provide diving, some for recreational, like scuba divers, but also commercial divers. And those are then snapped by industry quickly, and they are placed in private employment. So in a way, we're doing our part as the SharksBoard because we are a government agency, and we should be part of that Sukuma 10,000 that the Premier spoke about, to say that we need to assist with the unemployment in the country and do our part.
Tell us a bit about the boat building, because I understand that some of the students, the boats that they build, are handed to various communities.
This is one part of our outreach programs that I spoke about, because you see, we work within the community, so it makes sense for us to also donate to them. Currently, there's about 10 boats that are finished and that are ready to be donated. In the last 2 years, we've donated about 3 to different communities across KZN. Right now, we have about 10 that we are waiting for the MEC to decide which communities are most deserving, so that we can. Those were built by the students, by the way, and there are some are accredited and they are fit for what they're built for, and we're excited about that as well.
From my experience in interacting with the SharksBoards over the years, innovation is key, isn't it?
Absolutely.
To your organization. In terms of the training courses that you offer, How does that fit in terms of the youth?
Well, let's separate them into two then, because there are ones that are seagoing, for instance, and there are ones that are intended for people that want to sit in the office, like your SCM, your freight forwarding, and so on. But our main focus is mainly to train the youth on the boat building and the skipper's license and the diving and the commercial diving side of it, because those we found are absorbed quite quickly into the industry, even by private sector. So those that we can't consume for our own consumption, we then allow them to seek employment elsewhere. We've got partnerships with a lot of big players in the industry, just that I can't mention their names because there's so many, which is why our placement is very good.
Yeah. We celebrated commemorated World Environmental Day recently, and one of the issues is plastics in our ocean.
Yes.
What is the SharksBoard doing in order to put paid to these plastics that get into the ocean and affect marine life?
Interesting question, that because in about 5 or 6 years ago now, we started what we call beach cleanups, where our staff members, together with our strategic partners, we go out to sea at the river mouths and so on, and we take out this plastic and lots of other debris that actually causes a massive damage to our environment. So we are campaigning very, very strongly with that, and we are joined by other stakeholders, as I say, including the department in KZN and the Tegwin municipality as well.
Yeah. I want you to emphasize the importance of training. I understand that more than 2% of your overall payroll is spent on direct training and development. How's that? What sort of results are you seeing from that?
Well, we're very excited because, like I said, what makes us different to the rest of the other training colleges is that we don't only train people and leave them after that. We actually work with them and we employ them, and some of them have started their own businesses. Some of them are success stories. In fact, not only the youth in general, but also youth with disabilities. Like right now, the 3 boats that I spoke about that were donated were built by blind students at our newly launched campus in Springfield Park in Durban. So you would say that it's not just youth in general, even the ones that are living with disability, we focus on them very strongly as part of our corporate social responsibility.
Mr. Radebe, thank you very much indeed for your time. And enjoy the rest of your stint here in Johannesburg and the weather.
Always a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Mthokozisi Radebe is KwaZulu-Natal SharksBoard Marine Center of Excellence CEO. Des?